So here we are, day two. Day two,
Three.
three. Yeah,
Three.
because Friday's first day technically.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, this is Sunday. We just kind of walked out of the woods. We got some video of the waterfalls there and some of the activities we did. Want to apologize now, we didn't get a whole lot of video unfortunately because where we were, waterfall was pretty loud.
Yeah, it was a constant roar, and it was loud enough that it was difficult to communicate in general. We didn't even really test to see how sound would have picked up, but we do have a couple of small videos. We'll see if anything did come out of it. But
Worst case, we'll cut the sound out of it and we'll talk over them, but we'll definitely include them.
yeah,
So thoughts, Ben?
it was a good trip. The only thing we didn't really conquer that we wanted was the chair, and that was more or less due to lack of good wood for that project. We could have climbed up out of the hill and dragged stuff down the hill, but
We do have a short video of that hill, so you'll see why that was kind of frowned upon. But yeah, I agree. The material really wasn't there. At times we were struggling to get decent firewood. We really didn't want to kill any live trees doing any of our projects and stuff like that. We were really going with the leave no trace premise.
yeah.
So everything we took was basically dead wood. Even our the traps and stuff that we played with, some of the other projects we played with, it was mostly all dead wood. The only exception, I guess, would be our whistles, which I have packed away, but we'll take those out in the actual podcast. So be sure to stay tuned for that.
Mine's in the saddlebag.
I think mine are in the top there somewhere. But anyway, I guess my only thoughts were it was a little chillier this morning than expected.
It was. It was really chilly. I had a rougher night than I'd like to admit. A lot of muscle cramps and a lot of shaking. Reworked my gear in the middle of the night and got a lot warmer. It was a lot better after that. And I woke up to you lighting the fire, which meant I didn't have to get out in this cold weather, which is great.
Yeah, I woke up with a leg cramp and I'm just like, nope, it's time to get up, get that fire going. My feet were cold. It was a cold night. It was, I don't know what the actual temperature was. We'll have to check it when we get home, but with that mist constantly coming off the waterfall and the fog and the wind, there's where the waterfall is, I don't know if it'll show up on the videos or not, but you can't appreciate, there's always a breeze. Always a breeze coming down the waterfall and pushing right across our camp, which was great for bugs.
Yes.
Bugs were mediocre at best. They're not like what you see here now. This is way worse than anything we had to contend with. But,
yeah, and that was the thing. Even if you walk down the river or if you went to the top of the hill to look for anything, it's constant flies. Lots of flies. But down there it was reasonable. It was tolerable, so it wasn't too bad. We did a lot of fishing.
We did a fair amount of fishing. We actually got, I didn't do that great at it. I had some bites, had one almost in with me and it got off, but Ben here, the master fisherman, you landed 4, was it not, Ben?
I landed 5.
5.
But one of them jumped out of the pot as soon as I put it in there. I was keeping him in a pot of water, and as soon as I put it in the pot, it flipped back out of me, rolled off the rock, and hit the water and got away. And it was by far the biggest one. Of course, it's the biggest one. I swear.
I have to go with Ben's word on this.
You didn't see it. You were across the river.
I crossed the river. I pulled the old pants up and crossed the river. I don't recommend that. It was cold.
Yeah.
It was still very cold. The water was very fast, but did it anyway. Don't do as I do. But there was some nice fish in there. Like the one that I had on was pretty nice too. And I didn't even know I had him on. I went to pull the line out of the water and he just kind of grabbed it at the last second.
Yeah.
And then just let it right go. What were we using for bait? It was
pepperettes.
Pepperettes. So we were using our own food, but it panned out. It actually worked way better than I thought.
All but one of the fish was caught using just a hook and a couple of weights. And the other one was caught with it looked like a pink, I think it's the one you got on video.
Yeah, you might be able to see it on the video. I mean, at that point we had our proof of concept.
Yeah.
We went with, 10-15 feet of fishing line,
Yeah.
a single hook, and a couple of just lead weights.
Yeah, on the end of a 6-foot whip of alder, I'd say.
Yeah, mine might have been a little shorter. And then you made a hand reel at one point.
I made a hand reel. It was semi-functional. When I cast it out, it more or less always brought up on one of the turns. So some sandpaper or something would have been nice for that. Something to work the edges a bit better. But worked good for winding it up. think I might have caught 1 or 2 fish on that, and the rest were caught with the rod.
Yeah, I think you caught 2 on that. Because at night, just before we sat down for supper, you cast it out one more time and you got 1 off. That's the one I actually got on video.
Yeah, that was the rod.
Still pulling bugs out of my mouth. That's neither here nor there. What else?
Circle flies, buddy. Circle flies.
We cooked the steaks on the coals first night.
Yeah,
that was delicious. That was
good.
That was real good. Not just because we were hungry, it tasted amazing.
Yeah,
it was good. It didn't char them that bad either. Like one spot I had that was pretty toasty, but other than that, it was delicious.
My last piece, because I just started cutting chunks off while it was still on the fire and eating it. My last piece rolled into the fire, and I tried to retrieve it, and it fell 3 times, and then I said
it was charcoal by then.
It's now gifted to the fire gods.
What else did we do while we were down there, Ben? We did a lot of fishing. We did look for,
carving.
Yep, we did some carving, did some spoons.
We set up some traps.
We have some pictures of some figure 4 deadfalls.
Apparently you do have to bait them. Left them up all night, nothing came in them.
Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot to kick it down before we went to bed. But yeah, there was nothing in the morning, surprise, surprise. But we did take them down before we left. Ben carved up a pencil. That was a highlight. So that was good. Funny story about that. We'll talk about that in the podcast for those that tune in. I don't know what else we did. We walked the river a little bit.
Yeah.
Fishing and looking for alders for whistles and just searching around. We had to go quite a distance for some of our firewood.
Yeah. Got to try out my saw.
Got to try out your saw. I got to experience the underquilt.
Yeah.
Tried my tarp, both of which were amazing. Definitely going to buy an underquilt now. And anybody that's looking for a decent tarp at a low cost, check out my Budget Bushcraft channel. I'll be doing a quick review on that from my office. What else? There's something else. Oh, the dollar store pillow.
Yes.
I talked about that. I used that. That actually wasn't that bad. I can't remember who it was. I'd have to check the old videos, but somebody said it made them sweat, and I found if I put it under my sleeping bag, everything was great. But I didn't put it under my head. I had it under my neck.
Yeah.
Which just kind of balanced me out, which was really nice.
How'd you find the hammock with the less tension?
With less tension, it was better. Unfortunately, I goofed. I didn't have my hammock strap, so I had to resort to the original ropes that came with it. They stretched a little bit, but we came up with a pretty good solution the next night, and it didn't seem to stretch anymore the second night.
No.
So that was okay, and it was way better. Yeah. I actually got to lay on my side for once in a hammock, which was more out of necessity than trying to, just because it was so buggerly cold. I went in.
I think it's the humidity. I think it really was.
It was definitely that
cool, but so
it was
damp.
Damp. Yeah. Everything was damp. Like in the morning, my hat was soaked. That's why I'm wearing it now. I'm trying to dry it off. Actually, my axe I left out. It was soaked. Our wood was soaked. Like everything was just. It almost looked like it had rained without raining.
Yeah, because the tarps were dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just, everything was damp. It collected so much moisture, and that's what led to the chill. It was just a bad chill. Like non-stop chill. My feet got cold, and then they just stayed cold.
Yeah, now it's warm. Like we left with almost every bit of clothing we own on us. And as soon as I got to the bike, I'm having to shed layers.
Yeah, well, when I slept both of us, we went to bed. We both kind of woke up around the same time. Maybe one of us woke the other up. I can't remember. But anyway, we had to completely revamp our sleep systems to allow for this cold we weren't expecting. I took my wool blanket inside my sleeping bag. I ended up putting my thermals on, my pants on. I had my undershirt on, a t-shirt on. I threw my jacket over me. Like I had everything bundled up trying to keep that damp out. And it worked okay, but like I said, I could never get my feet warm.
No.
That was the only thing that sucked.
That's what stayed chilled on me too. I managed to pull my down blanket inside my sleeping bag, and that was the trick. The first night outside was great. The second night with it inside, down around my feet, I was actually getting somewhat warm, but yeah, my feet stayed chilled the rest of the night. They're only kind of now, not froze.
Yeah, this is the first time that my feet weren't cold since last night. Crawling into the hammock.
Yeah, well, you managed to fall in.
Yes. First night, second day in the morning.
Yeah.
I was
You spent a good part of the day with your feet up by the fire and trying to dry
my boot. I still walked around, did some fishing, stuff like that. What was I doing? Getting water.
Yeah.
I was getting water, and
Or a
I
Sawyer Mini.
yeah, the Sawyer Mini. That was the other thing I tested. It worked out well. We got a small video of that working. I only brought one tiny bottle of water with me, so I've literally been going solely on the Sawyer Mini. Have to say that's been an interesting experience, but I don't feel any worse for wear yet. Apparently they're supposed to be great for 99.9 continuing,
Yeah, it's
9%
like 5 or 6 nines.
of all parasites.
Parasites, bacteria, virus, and cysts.
Yeah, so the only thing I'll say on that kind of got me, but apparently it's the tannin in the water, is that when the water comes out, I was expecting like crystal clear water for some reason, but it kind of comes out, it's got like a brown tinge to it.
Yeah, and that's the water. That water would be brown regardless.
Yeah.
So some of the tannins in the water won't get filtered out. There's a few other things that may not filter out, but it's nothing in it should hurt you.
No, I don't think so. And we're not talking brown like your boots or my boots. We're talking
Just a
like this
slight
very,
yellow.
yeah, like off, just slightly.
You wouldn't notice it in a dark cup.
No, I didn't notice it at all. I didn't notice it till the next morning, actually.
Yeah, you only notice it like your clear glass or yeah. And you found the 16-ounce
Bag way too small.
Yeah.
So, did you take a picture of your setup?
I do think I got some pictures of my setup. My
Okay.
setup is a Ziploc style bag with a clip that goes over the top, so you can open up the bottom. Much easier to fill up. Robert's got a system for filling up his bag. Works. You have to check out his Bushcraft
Yeah,
site.
we'll talk about that one later.
It's not this site friendly apparently. But yeah, we got some systems worked out for that. Played with some stuff, sized up different gear and stuff that we have, tools, equipment we like to use.
Yeah, I had two different tarp setups. Both worked well for what they were. In the area we had, it looked good. There should be some pictures of that.
Yeah, I really liked how mine was set up. I liked how yours worked. You managed to pull that corner down to avoid that tree. Gave you a bit of privacy from me. Kind of block a bit of wind. Like you said, if you did it again, you'd do the other corner.
Yeah, and try to keep that wind from coming in through the end. I think that's what really killed my feet. Probably likewise with you. You were open to the waterfall, same as I was, because I wanted to lay in the hammock and look at the waterfall.
Yeah.
Which turned out being the downfall of both of us. But no, I think it was a good trip. I enjoyed it.
See, if I closed it off, it would have just made it look, I don't know.
Boxy.
I was going to say unfriendly.
Well,
Looking off into the woods, not into the camp.
yeah, but unfriendly sometimes, just exactly what you needed to keep the heat in.
Yeah. Well, mine is a rectangular tarp, and if I set it up right, I can close the doors. I left it in, what do they call it, Adirondack mode. So it's one's more or less a ceiling, and the other is just almost a sheer drop.
And it looks like an awning kind of deal.
Yeah.
Which is very open, gave you lots of room, but didn't shelter from the wind at all.
No, I didn't find it too bad at my angle.
And my tarp is a hex tarp, so I just invented a configuration on the fly. But the only thing I will say about the tarp is I probably will take it in and get a couple more tie-outs tied onto it. It comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tie-outs, and I'm probably going to tie in 4 or 6 more. Just for my preferences, give me way more options when I want to set it up.
I think mine's got 16.
16? Yeah, I'm thinking I want at least 12. So, but no, for what I paid $50 for it, and I mean I'm not disappointed in the slightest.
No.
It's
No,
good quality.
Yeah.
Worked well.
For $50, and it's great. I mean, I paid slightly more than that for mine. I think it was 55 or 60, but it was a lightning sale. You had 4 hours to do it, and you know that's a good tarp too.
Yeah, that's the one Tigers.
The one Tigris, and I would consider it comparable to my Mech Sil Nylon Guide tarp. Better in some ways, not quite as good in others. Quality the Mech one might be better, but the Wind Tigris has more consistent tie-outs and stuff. So.
It looked nicer. You said the Mech one, the tie-outs were all kind of willy-nilly. There was no symmetrical tie-outs to it.
Actually, mine might have 19 because there's 3 on the top.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, you showed me those. So it would be neat for running
There's like
original.
5 per side, so that's 20. I think we're going to get drove over.
No, it's a big truck on the sound just carries through the hill.
Yeah, 5 per side, 4 corners are doubled up, that's 16, and then 3 across the top. It's a 19,
Yeah, it's a 19.
time.
And that gives you a ton of customization with it.
And I don't think I've ever set up a tarp the same way twice.
Well, it's always unique to your style, right? So,
Well-
or to your situation, not your style, your situation.
Depending on terrain, tie-out points, what view you're looking for, what the weather's like, you always can adjust it and stuff. Sometimes it's very closed down and low, other times it's high, and just in case it might rain or just trying to block the sun. So
Speaking of rain, weather was pretty good except for yesterday morning. Had rain for like spitting for the morning.
I wouldn't complain about the rain so
No,
much. The
it
cold
was
was
good.
worst.
Cold was the worst part of it all, but the rain was no big deal. But we did have a little bit. Right now, I don't know if it picks it up in the back. There's like 3, 4, 5 clouds in the sky.
Yeah.
Nice and bright and sunny, so it's going to be a nice ride home at least.
Yeah, and it was a beautiful ride here. I mean, was it 289? All the
Highway
farms and
289,
stuff.
yeah.
It's pretty gorgeous.
Road can be a little rough, so if you are taking it, just especially if you're coming past where we pulled in here and heading down to the Victor County line, it gets a little worse again.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's still passable. Just
Past one
be aware.
construction site. Just the satellites, really. There's nobody there.
they just have the bridge
Yeah.
shut down.
I don't even know why. I couldn't tell. Didn't matter.
So what else did we accomplish down there? I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. We
Good
got the
trip.
packs on the bikes and got out, and it was interesting to see what we could take. And I know now there's some stuff I wouldn't take, and there's a couple things I wish I had have taken, like my big cook kit. I really didn't need it. I used my GI cup the entire weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
only
great.
took the one pot. I could have used a frying pan, but I managed to do everything without it, so that's same thing.
Pot bacon.
Pot
Pot
bacon's
bacon
awesome.
was awesome.
Yes.
And I guess the only thing I would really like to have taken would have been my thicker sleeping bag. But is what it is.
But it's the bulk. Like, I mean, your
Oh
bag,
my God, I went
your
from
bag's over there. You don't know if you see it, but
it's not quite on there. But you'll see it on the pictures. I got a picture of me riding away from home, and I think you got one too. We'll try and put them up somewhere in this.
Yeah.
And,
I
I mean, we're not packed light.
No.
Well, we are packed light, but for a
Light-ish.
motorcycle, we're not packed light.
I weighed yours, was it 52 pounds?
Yeah.
Mine was 42, but that didn't include my camera equipment or the beer.
Mine had everything.
Yeah, and actually my water might have been out of that. So I was probably pushing at least 46 pounds. So I wouldn't call it ultralight, but that was food, everything. And we were more than comfortable other than, I mean, we felt a little chilled. But
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
stuff
it
we
wasn't
could have
bad
done.
though.
Yeah.
I mean, our fire wasn't anywhere near our camp either. Like you'll see in the pictures, our hammocks were back in the woods and the fire was up by the water. So I mean, there was things we could have done differently for sure.
I could have filled my water bottle and threw that in. Had I
Warmed
known it was
up.
going to be as chilly as it was, I would have.
Could have done.
What I did in January when I was camping is I took they're body warmers. They're like hand warmers, but they're like
Big
3
ones.
times. And I threw a couple of those in mine and my daughter's hammock, and it really worked. And I think I might start carrying a set of those.
Yeah, I was gonna say even a hand warmer down by my feet would have went a long way.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing I noticed, and I don't know if this is inherent to the underquilt or just my setup, was not my butt, not the cold butt syndrome, my spine. Right here would get cold for about an hour, and then once like that layer of air got trapped in there, then it was good.
Yeah, we could probably have tried setting it up differently had we moved the short straps up to your ridge line. It might have pulled them up more onto you.
Yeah.
But that's an
It
option.
worked, honestly. I mean, once it warmed up, I was good, just except for my feet. But yeah, no, good trip. Lots of fun.
Yeah, good to catch up, kind of meet. This is the first time we got to spend any amount of time together. Had
Yeah,
some chats.
other than the podcast and the Nova Scotia Bushcraft weekend, which we chatted about, we might have talked like twice,
Yeah.
2-3 times, just kind of in passing at it.
Yeah.
This is the first time we actually sat down, spent some time together other than the podcast, actually looked at some of our skills and stuff, and it was enjoyable, very
Yeah.
enjoyable. So hopefully in the future we'll do something like this again, and if we do, we'll put it out there for anybody that wants to come out and enjoy it.
It was good. It was good to learn the traps. I mean, I've known the theory for years, but never really tried setting any of them up. So we're gonna play a game later to guess who made which trap.
Ben's is better.
We'll figure that out. I got to show you how to make the whistles.
Yeah,
You really
yeah,
seem to enjoy
that's awesome. I pegged off 3 whistles in an evening. Now I'm
Yeah.
addicted to making whistles.
that. Yeah.
But,
we made some spoons.
Yeah, you made a real nice spoon. You'll have to take that to the podcast. That's
Yeah.
a sweet little spoon. I'm still working on mine.
It's shockingly ergonomic.
Yeah, like it's an amazing, nice little spoon.
I left a little like wood person in a tree.
Yeah, so that'll be good for the next person coming in. Even if it's me, I'll be like, holy crap, there it is again.
Yeah.
Staring at me.
Yeah.
But it was neat. It was neat to watch it. I'd never actually seen one carved before, so I kind of watched Ben as he was doing that. I was kind of playing with ideas for my spoon, and it was neat. I enjoyed it. I got ideas on a couple knives I want, Swiss Army knives that have the gouges in it, and a rope hook, as we're calling it.
That hook is awesome.
That hook was a lifesaver. Otherwise, I would not have got my hammock up the way I did.
To untie like tight knots and to sometimes to fish ones out of holes and stuff. And yeah, I use that a lot.
Yeah, so I'll be looking for one of those. Even if it's just a rope hook, I'll be going for something.
Yeah, so I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but it's this guy here. There may be a more proper name for this.
Yeah, I don't actually know
but
what
it's a little hook and it goes over like paracord like nobody's business.
Amazingly great.
And you can get in and you can really work it. I've used it for a lot of stuff. And the awl, I mean everyone's seen an awl, I think.
Yeah, because when when I originally got the soaked foot, we were throwing around the idea of making a sandal. But we just couldn't find a decent material for the sole. We talked about splitting wood and stuff like that, but honestly it was like 3 hours and the boot was dry. So it would have taken 3 hours to split the wood and make the sandal.
Well, you had large softwood that might have worked and a lot of small, rotten hardwood.
Yeah, and the softwood was pretty wet too.
Yeah, so everything seemed to be a poor choice.
And that's why we kind of fell flat in the chairs as well. Everything was just a real poor choice. We thought about doing it up here, but there's no real dead wood, and we didn't really want to cut a whole lot of the trees down because we'd need a half a dozen of them, and I mean, it's just not what we're about.
Especially if we're not going to use it.
Well, that's just it. We didn't need chairs on site.
Yeah, so there's good rocks to sit at around the fire.
Sit on a pillow.
On day 3, we decided pillows would be a good addition.
Yeah, it gets a little hard on the rump.
Yeah.
You brought your camp chair. That was nice.
Yeah,
So-
I enjoyed that. I didn't sit in it as much because the rocks were kind of in the way for
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part. And you didn't want to get it on the riverside or you would have more than wet feet.
But no, that was kind of lightweight. That's in my weight, and it just strapped to the side of my pack. Hardly noticed it. I noticed it most driving down. I could feel it in the back. I was like, if I ever got rear-ended.
Man, my bag is pushing straight into my spine when I'm driving. So if anything ever happens, I'm just like human meat missile followed by like camping missile right behind me.
Yeah.
But no, good time. Looking forward to the next one. Anything else you want to add into this?
The solar panels were awesome.
Oh yeah, solar panels. Actually, mine's still on my bike charging.
Yeah.
Because my phone, for whatever reason, I went to bed last night at 85%. Woke up this morning at 26. And I thought I had turned it off, but there's some debate if maybe I just suspended it.
Yeah.
But in any case, it was stone dead, and it's probably back there 100% full now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they work.
They work really
amazingly
good.
quick.
Yeah. Mine was down to 40% midday. I really would have made it through the weekend, but I said I'll plug it in anyways, and I made it up to 90% before I unplugged it. And that's when the sun was like still visible. And the next time I plugged it in, the sun was behind the trees, and
Yeah.
it was intermittent at best after
They
that.
do need 100% direct sunlight. They don't work well at all in intermittent sunlight or cloudy. It has to be 100% bright sunlight coming down on it. When it does, though, tons of power.
I'm really looking forward to taking on a canoe trip. That is a goal of mine now, because with a canoe trip, I'm going to set it right up in the gunnels on top of my pack, and I'll paddle with power.
And
So that'll work good.
I can't think if there's anything else I took in or not. I was going to test. New tarp, under quilt, Sawyer Mini, and the dollar store pillow. Those were my big things to take in.
So I didn't take much new stuff. I retried the one Tigris for the first time in the summer. It works out good. I don't know if I'd call it better than my other one, but it's a functional, good hammock. I like the tarp. I really do. backpack worked out good.
Yeah, my $8 fine backpack.
Well, both of ours.
Yeah, yours worked out amazingly well. I like your style. It has a lot more adjustability than mine. Mine's kind of a cross between a backpack and a luggage bag, so.
Yeah,
but it worked.
Definitely got a lot of advantages, especially for the bike, because you can zip a lot of your straps in. Mine has little elastics for every strap, but there's like 400 straps. So I spent about 15 minutes this morning just tying up little straps.
Yeah, I gotta flip mine over and zip everything in before I put it on the bike.
Because once they go on the bike, the last thing I want is something coming around and getting around the chain or the...
Well, that was my fear where I used a ratchet strap to hold mine down. If something shifted and that slackened off, I kept looking in the mirror and make sure it was still tight, and I'd reach my hand back and make sure there was tension on it.
I guarantee you, if it goes in, you'll know it.
Oh, for sure. I know 100% that the big screeching slide will probably give it away.
That'd be terrifying.
Nice view there, eh?
Yeah.
Off topic, but
no, it's a beautiful
I keep
area.
glancing over at it.
I like the falls. I think I'm gonna try and get back here sometime. Maybe bring the kids, go for a swim or something.
Yeah, the bottom area now where that tree went down, it looks like it's a pretty good swimming area.
Yeah, there's a down tree that created a natural dam. I've seen a few fish down there, and I went down with the fishing rod, and there's no fish down there when there's a fishing rod in your hand.
It's typical.
Yeah. But no, beautiful area, beautiful time, decent weather, good company. Learned some new things.
I learned a lot. Learned to want an underquilt. For sure.
Learned you're going to be poor in the future.
Learned I'm going to be very poor. I have a priority list of things I got to buy, and underquilt's going on it somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's not to the top, unfortunately.
Down sleeping bags there for both of
Down
us.
sleeping bags coming there too.
Yeah. I find that that's the killer on all my packs. Is if I wasn't for the room the sleeping system takes up, I would.
That is
I
like
could go
the
forever.
entire bottom of my bag
Yeah.
is nothing but sleeping system.
I'd say 60% of my bag is sleeping. It's either hammock, tarp, sleeping bag, underquilt, blanket, pillow.
Oh, well, just for example.
You should bring that in because that's massive. It's impressive that thing that weighed 52 pounds considering the size.
This up is all my other stuff. This down is just sleeping system, and I think I still got some of the sleeping system up in here too. Yeah, I do. The sleeping bag's actually up in here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So-
It takes up at least 60% of your room. And of the other stuff I took, I didn't need it all.
No, that's the thing. I ended up bringing way more than I actually needed.
Well, we never used either of the stoves.
No, not at all.
All cooking was done on fire.
And we only ate a fraction of the food we drug in.
Yeah. Yeah, I still got my freeze-dried or my dehydrated asparagus. I was really looking forward to that. Never got.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to eating that too because I never heard of dehydrated asparagus.
Neither did I. So I'm still wondering what it's going to be like. I'll probably go home and cook it up. But it's just we had plenty of food. I got
Tons.
lots of snacks and stuff left. But you never really know if you're going to be more hungry or less hungry, or if you end up stuck for a day. Like, there's no phone signal out here, like none.
Nothing.
And
Absolutely
apparently
nothing.
it's about 15 minutes either side before you have a chance to
Get
hit.
anything, yeah.
So had we had an emergency, it would have been either stuck waiting till someone came to find us, or
Which
one
was
of us.
6 o'clock was the contingency plan.
Yeah. So 6 o'clock they call. They might get someone out here tonight. Good chance Monday morning. If they hear it's me or you, but maybe like Wednesday.
Yeah, I was about to say. They may just say, we'll file that one at low priority. But I guess on the topic of meals, Friday night was steak.
Yeah.
That's what we had for supper.
Yeah.
Handfuls of nuts, jerkies, things like that as we went through. And then yesterday morning I had
Fish.
oatmeal. Yeah, fish. We had fish. That was supper yesterday. Yesterday morning I had oatmeal with a handful of nuts in it. I made way too much oatmeal. I ended up putting a piece of chocolate bar down in it to try and make it edible, and I got too full of it. I'm not a big oatmeal fan to begin with, but I know it's filling and it'll stay with you for a long time, so I forced myself to eat it. This morning I was a little better. Oatmeal again, but we downed it quite a bit, my
Yeah.
portion size.
So I had an omelet yesterday morning.
Yeah, that looked way better than the freaking oatmeal.
Yeah, I had everything mixed up in a mason jar, sort of sealed off with some butter, threw it in my pot, just laid it on the fire, and that cooked up in no time. It was good. And I had no oatmeal, which is an alternative to oatmeal.
It actually looked pretty good too, though.
It is pretty good.
I think I may try and look at that. That's
Yeah,
that had
send
some
you my
good
recipe.
stuff in it.
Or we can post the link. I steal all my recipes, and none of them are mine.
Oh, it's not an original bone in my body, that's for sure.
But yeah, no, that works out pretty good. That's kind of my go-to for trying to keep my carbs low and still enjoy this stuff. And it's real easy to make and packs super small. Same as oatmeal, fills you up pretty good. So.
I guess the only last thing I'd like to add in, as we mentioned it before we came down, was like the little hand sores and stuff you accumulate over time. We've only been gone 3 days. And I mean, no cuts, no major cuts with a knife or anything like that, but
No.
just little bumps, scrapes, bug bites, stuff like that. My hands are actually getting a little sore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I noticed my thumbs are starting to crack in a couple of spots, and I got a couple of good
Yeah,
scrapes.
like I said, I got something
You got a
here.
blister there too, I think.
What?
Right under your ring finger.
No, it's just callus.
Oh, it counts.
The one callus I actually have for whatever reason. The one on the side of my thumb. I don't know. This is where I get them. But anyway, no, but got some nicks just from little dumb things like setting up the deadfall.
I think
Nick
both
my
of us
finger
are
on there.
looking for new boots.
Yeah, mine are shot all to snot.
Mine are like busted out. So.
And I didn't do them any favors when I was trying to dry this one out.
Yeah,
It got real hot up there at one point, real floppy. Not quite as bad as the story we talked about, but
that's the worst thing with bad boots. Like I knew these were going, and things are falling off of them. But once they get to this point, like you can't walk in water. Like just walk across the bog, my feet started getting damp. And
yeah, literally the second water comes over the rubber sole on mine,
Yeah.
now I can start to feel a little damp in it.
yeah, that's what mine are like.
Not soaked, but damp. So I think I'll go buy a new set tomorrow.
I just can't pick a pair.
I'll just get these again. I really like these.
I have those at home. I did like them.
I like them just because they're wide enough for my foot. I got a wide foot, and these are too narrow, honestly, but I bust out on both sides.
This is my first 6-inch. I've always gone with 8-inch.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the 8s. I like the ankle support. I'm fat. I don't want that rolling over on my ankle.
That's a
But,
good point, though. Good high boots do save you.
Oh, they've
Decent
saved
work
my ankles
for
a
me.
couple times.
Yeah.
But,
No, I think that's good to cover it.
yeah, I think that's good for me. So
It's a beautiful day. We'll do some driving.
get
Your
home.
way. I'm going to go my way.
I'm gonna go my way. I'm gonna go home, stretch out all my gear on the front lawn, and let it dry. Get all the dampness out of it, because the dampness did set in there.
Yeah.
So everything has to be pulled out there.
Yeah, and the dishes all need to be properly cleaned.
Yeah, I gotta get an SOS pad. Scrub the bottom of my GI cup. It's actually pretty. Charcoal trick worked pretty well.
Yeah, I did that, but I still think I could get a bit more. There's the thinnest of the thin layers of grease I can still
Oh
feel.
yeah, inside for sure. I just meant for getting the soot and stuff off the bottom.
Yeah.
You just use a piece of charcoal, cold charcoal, and you just scrub it like an SOS pad, and it'll take quite a bit off. But yeah, so I guess we'll gear up and head out and part ways and
Yeah, we'll talk Wednesday.
talk on Wednesday. We'll probably be talking before that, but we'll definitely be online on Wednesday, probably when you see some of this video. Or maybe we'll release this video later. I don't know. We'll be in touch and we'll figure it out how we want to get all this
promised at
planned
least
out.
to give a heads up that we both made it home safe and sound. So
Yeah, I'll go home and, well,
I'll message you when I get home.
and then I'll post it, or one of us will post it on the site. On the Facebook page saying we're alive and out. Hopefully. I mean, we're still not out yet, technically. We're still a good little piece in the woods.
Still got a ways for pavement.
Yeah. We still got a huff out of here, and as
You
you've
couldn't
seen
make
us-
it out of first gear coming in here.
No, couldn't.
I barely made it in the second.
I could not get out of first. It's pretty, like I know it just looks like gravel, but as you get down the road, it's actually slate stone and it's jagged, so you really got to pick your path, so you may not have tires by the time you hit.
And it's pretty ruddy.
It is very ruddy.
And a
I'm
lot
really
of the
not looking
ruts
forward
go
to that.
into the bush. Like I definitely pushed trees with my
Yeah, I
Really?
smacked one side, and it really wasn't. I really hope it's not the bad side. But anyway, yeah, it'll be good. We'll be chatting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's get this show on the road.
Oh,
Road on the show.
I do not want to put that bag on this bike.